Okay, you need to solve the equation for x. Now you see three ratios. You can't use the A, B, C, D, obviously. Okay? So what you need to do with three ratios is you need to use the common denominator method. This isn't fun. Okay? Now you need to extend each of your fraction lines, please, across the paper. Fraction plus fraction equals a third fraction. Now on top, you need to put parentheses. Is there a plus minus where my pencil's at? No. No parentheses. No. So that just drops down. And even if you put a parentheses on top, you don't factor it. That doesn't matter. Okay? The bottom, what needs, well, this is empty, and that's okay. Okay? There's a plus there. Put in parentheses. There's no plus there. Now the one that's in parentheses, you need to ask yourself, could that factor? It's got two terms, so I'm thinking GCF and DOPS. GCF's 1, and it's plus. It can't be a DOPS. So that's no, it doesn't factor, so you leave it the way it is. So this just comes straight down, and this we already said we weren't putting in parentheses. So now I'm finding my common denominator. You have an empty denominator here. Here you have a parentheses of x plus 2. Here you have an x that's not in a parentheses, so you call that outer x or outside x, something. So how many factors of x plus 2 do you have on the bottom here? That would be a 0. How many here? 1. How many x plus 2 parentheses? That would be 0. So you need to get these both so they have 1. So you bring in an x plus 2. Now when you're bringing a parentheses, you also bring it to the top and you times from behind. Okay, like that. That already has it. And this other one times it from behind. Okay, now outer x. I have 0 here. It can't be in parentheses to count. 0 here. 1 here. So we need to get these two so they have an outer x. Now, I'm bringing in something to these two that isn't going to be a parentheses, so you times that in the front. Okay? Now that the bottoms all match and we have an equal sign, we can forget the bottoms and not bring them back. Okay? So you line up your equals and you put parentheses for this fraction plus parentheses for that one plus equals parentheses for this one. Now, you need to multiply this. First you take x times 2. X times 2 is 2x. Now you times to the parentheses 2x to 1x, 2x to 2. So it's 2x to the second and 4x. Okay, we need to times here. X times negative 4 is just negative 4x. Come on. Okay. Then here, 2 times x, 2 times 2. That's 2x plus 4. Okay, now that that's done, you line up your equals. This parentheses here, you just put what's inside it. But these two over on the same side of the equals, you need to combine like terms. So you have x second, x, and x. Okay? So there's no constant. So x second's 2, 4 plus negative 4 is 0. If something's 0, you get rid of it. Okay? It's out of the equation. Now, you have two answers here. Because you have x the second, you've also got x with it. So you are applying your factoring properties. So you clear the side of the equals that doesn't have the x to the second. Now if there's an x second on both sides, you clear the side with the smaller value, the smaller coefficient. So you're clearing that. Well, there's nowhere to put 2x. There's nowhere to put 4. So it just goes behind. So you put your x to the second term, then your x term, then your constant term, and then you're at 0. So there are 3 terms. That would be GCF table. So do you have x on the end? No. Do you have a negative in front? No. 2, 2, and 4 is 2, but just 2. So 1x to the second minus 1x minus 2. Now you're like, what do you want me to do with that 2? It doesn't have x. Just bring the 2 over here and cross it off. Okay? So ABC. One times negative 2, that would be negative 2. So the signs have to mismatch on a negative. It's got to add to negative 1. 1 and 2, that's negative 1 right there, circle it, so this can be factored. You don't have to go to the quadratic formula. Your a is 1x to the second. So xx, 1, 1. Can't simplify either one of those, okay? Please take the 1's away and then line those up over here. X plus 1, x minus 2. Equals 0. So we did factoring. That 2 doesn't have an x, just discard it. Okay? When you're solving for x, you don't need the 2. X plus 1 could equal 0, x minus 2 could equal 0. So minus 1, that gives us negative 1. Plus 2, that gives us 2. Okay, next problem. Okay, up top, no parentheses, no parentheses, parentheses. Doesn't, even if it can factor, don't factor the tops, just drop them. But you need to insert parentheses where needed. Now bottom, this one already has parentheses, so you just drop what you have. Okay, that means it's already factored, and that's good. I don't need to worry about factoring. This one needs a parentheses. Can you factor x minus 2? Remember, if you already have parentheses, that means the teacher was nice, or the textbook I got it from is nice, and they already factored that for you. Okay? Can you really break up an x minus 2? No. It'd be GCF DOPS. You have to factor the bottoms. Now, if there's already parentheses on bottoms, that means they already factored it for you. Okay, so you just bring them down. But this one where you inserted your parentheses on bottom, you have to see if it can factor. 1, no. Minus, there is, but 1, and then you get to x without a power. Okay, so you drop that. So now you're ready for your common denominator. Your common denominator is ready. So you got x minus 2, parentheses x minus 2, parentheses x plus 3, parentheses x minus 2. So I'm just dealing with x minus 2 and x plus 3. Don't write that a second time. Now it's counting. You know how to count, don't you? How many x minus 2's are on the bottom here? 1. How many are here? That would be 0. How many are here? 1. So everything needs 1. So bring in x minus 2, and when you bring in a parentheses, you times behind it. X plus 3, okay? 1, 0, 0, okay? So these last two need the x plus 3 times from behind. Okay, so the bottoms cancel. Top, you don't have to times, it's just 5. You got to definitely times here, okay? Okay, now you got to times the 2 to this parentheses first. So you take 2 times x and 2 times negative 2. Well, that's 2x minus 4. Parenthesize it and cross it out. Now you need to FOIL. So you times that first, then you times this. So this is 2 terms by 2 terms. That is a FOIL. 2x times 1x, 2x times 3, negative 4 times 1x, and negative 4 times 3. So we have 2x to the second, 6x, negative 4x, and negative 12. These combine into 2x. So 2x second, 2x, and negative 12. Plus 2x minus 12. Okay, here, this is the only dot I see. You're just foiling, okay? 1x times 1x. 1x times 3. Negative 3 times 1x. And negative 3 times 3. 1x second, 3x, negative 3x, and negative 9. These can cancel, okay? They don't add, they add to 0. So 1x second minus 9. So you bring down your equals and you put 1x second minus 9. Okay? So constant, x second, x constants. You got all three that you need to fill in. X second's 2, x is 2, 5 plus negative 12 is negative 7. Okay, so we have x is second. So we also have an x to the first in the equation, so we have to apply the factoring properties. And you clear the side that either doesn't have x second or has the smaller one. 2 and 1, we would clear that out. Because I don't want to end up with negative on x to the second. So we have 1x to the second plus 2x plus 2 equals 0. Okay. So GCF table. So x on the end, no. Negative in front, no. 1, 2, and 2 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2, positive. The signs have to match. Since we have to have them add to the b, which is positive 2, they probably better be both positive. Here's a problem. 1 and 2 is 3, and that's the only factors of 2 that exist. So you're not going to be able to find it. It's quadratic formula. Opposite of b, plus or minus the square root. P squared minus 4ac over 2a. So the opposite of positive 2 is negative 2. B to the second, that's 2 to the second. A is 1, C is 2. A is 1. So you bring over your plus minus, you got a negative 2 in the front. 2 times 1 is 2. Okay. Now set up your square root and plug the inside in. Okay. Okay, you got negative 4. Okay. Just bring the I out. Now you can do one of two things here. Okay. You can write that as 2i without the square root, because the square root of 4 is 2, so it'd be 2i. Okay, it is a perfect square. Or you can put I square root 4. I don't care. Either put that or just 2i. Okay. But either way, you can't simplify it. So instead of I square root 4, you could just write 2 whole I. Okay. Or you can put minus. Some teachers would require you to put 2i, and then you'd have to reduce the 2, 2, and the 2. But that's get me there, and I'm happy. Okay. All right, next problem. CD. First, do any of the tops need a parentheses? No. They're just one term each. Bottom. Well, that's 2 terms. So's that. X minus 3. I mean, I'm not a real smart guy, but pretty sure that doesn't factor. Okay. I mean, the GCF would be 1. I don't even think it would be adopts, like I know it wouldn't be, because your x isn't even to a power, much less 3 not being a perfect square. So you don't do anything, so both of them just drop. You don't rewrite them. You need to factor the bottoms if possible, but I wasn't able to do it. Common denominator, you just got x minus 3, so x minus 3 is all you got. So you have 1 here, 0 here, 1 here. Why best this one better get with the program so he matches. Remember, parentheses you times behind it. Now the bottoms all match. This is going to be a pretty easy problem. So you got negative 2 here, and just put your 6 here. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x, and negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12. That's easy to do. You don't have to show any work or not, anything, okay? So you just put your negative 2 here. You got constant, x, constant. So negative 4 is my x, constant, 6 plus 12 is 18. Okay, so your x is just to the first, so you're applying linear properties. You are not clearing one's whole side of the equation. Okay, so don't add 2 linear properties. You're getting the x by itself. Okay, so minus 18. Negative 2 minus 18 is negative 20. Then I divide by negative 4, and that's 5. Okay, next problem. Any parentheses needed on top? Yeah, right there. I don't even care. I don't try to factor anything on top, but you do need to put parentheses so when you go multiply, you're not all confused. On bottom, no, yes, and yes. Okay, so that 2 just carries down. Can you factor the expression x minus 1? Can you write that in a simpler form? I would say you couldn't, because watch, 2 terms on GCF DOPS. So there's no x, no negative, 1, okay? Okay. All right, so 1 times 1, x has no power, so that's a no. So you keep that the same. Okay, and that's the same as that one, x minus 1. Okay, so what do you got? We have 2. You have the parentheses x minus 1. Then I have it again. Don't repeat it. You're only looking on bottom. So how many 2's do you have on bottom there? 1. How many 2's are on bottom here? 0. How many here? 0. Everything needs 1. Okay? So this is not a parentheses that I'm bringing into these 2, so you times from the front. Okay? Parentheses you bring in times on the back end, times by the front end on the ones not in parentheses. And you need to do it here too. Okay, how are we on x minus 1's? 0, 1, 1. So get this one up to put x minus 1, put it on top. Okay, bottoms now can be dropped on an equals. Because now once you get them all the same, now they're equivalent. Okay, 3x minus 3. Got to times the 3 to the x, 3 to the 1. Not the smartest guy in the world. 2 times 4 is 8, though. That'd be 2x, and then 1. Or 2, my bad. Okay, so you just put the 2x plus 2 down there. Well, no, hold on. Don't put those parentheses again. Sorry, it's late at night. You just write 2x plus 2. X constant, constant. So you need to simplify on the other side. So 3. Negative 3 plus 8 is 5. Okay, so your x only has one answer, and again, you apply linear properties. Easy to do. It's like Algebra 1 in September, okay? Now, if you have x on opposite sides, you take out, you don't clear one whole side, you just clear an x from one of the sides, minus 2x. Now I'm at 1x plus 5 equals 2. Now minus 5, you get negative 3. Just take the 1 off and the answer is negative 3. Okay, next problem. Need a parentheses there? No. Here you do. That's 2 terms, but I still not going to try to factor it. No, not here. So 10 what are you doing? You're not factoring the top, because in the common denominator method, it's all about the denominators. Now, parentheses there, 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 and guess what? All three can factor. So that's a binomial, so it'd be GCF and dots. You have x, no. Do you have a negative? No. 2 and 8's 2. So it's 1x plus 4. Now, you don't just get rid of the GCF. You bring it down here, cross it out. That's a plus sign. It can't be a dot. So you just put that parentheses alongside the 2. Drop the 1 off the x. So you're rewriting this as 2 times parentheses, put a times dot, x plus 4. X second minus 16. So that's 2 terms. So that would be GCF and dots. No x, so negative, that'd be 1. Minus, you got 1 times 1, x, 16's 4 times 4. So you bet that's a dots. So you didn't do the GCF, take the 1's off the front, please. Goes to this. Okay, 2x minus 8. Be 2. Okay. So you bring down your 2. Minus is there, 1 times 1, x second, there's not there, okay? So you bring that 1x minus 4 alongside it, take the 1 off, and you replace this with this. Okay, common denominator. Now you don't put 2 times x plus 4, you put a 2, and then the parentheses x plus 4. Those are 2 separate categories. X plus 4, x minus, I already got x plus 4 down. 2's already accounted for, so it's x minus 4. So what do I have? 1 factor of 2, 0 factors of 2, and 1 factor of 2. So you need to bring the middle up to speed. It's not a parentheses, so times in the front. X plus 4, 0, or excuse me, 1, 1, 0. Okay, so you take that third one, times by x plus 4. X minus 4, 0, 1, 1. Okay, so you got to bring him up to speed. Okay, so those all cancel. Now what do you got? Well, 10 times x is 10x. 10 times negative 4 is negative 40. 2 times negative 8 is negative 16. 2 times negative 7x is negative 14x. Negative 8 times x is negative 8x. Negative 8 times 4 is negative 32. So this side, negative 8x minus 32. X constant, constant, x. 10, negative 14 is negative 4. Negative 40, negative 16 is negative 56. Okay, so x is only to the first power, so you're using linear properties. Okay, you don't clear one whole side, just take out one of the x's. I'm going to add 8x to there, so 4x plus negative 56 equals negative 32. Then I will be adding 56 to each side, and that will take us to 24. Then I will be dividing by 4, and that would be 6. Linear properties is like the kind of problem you've learned since I don't know when. Okay. Okay, next problem. You gonna have parentheses around any of your tops? No. Bottoms, well, I see minus plus there, I see a minus there, I see a minus there. You need to factor that first one. You got to factor the bottoms before you go to your common denominator. It's just 1. 1 times 12 is 12. Okay. So the signs have to match. Since they have to add to -7, they would match as negatives. No. That's -8. No. Divide by 3, you get 4. There's your -7. Okay. So A is 1x to the second. So x, you can apply the 1 in the front. Really don't think you're going to be doing much simplifying though. Take the 1 off the front, it's x minus 3, x minus 4. Replace this with this. That's 2 terms, GCF DOPS. You think that's we're gonna do a GCF in that one? No, it's 1. Is that a DOPS? No, so you just bring it down. You can set up the GCF DOPS, but you're going to do absolutely neither one of them because the GCF's 1. X minus 4. So that would be GCF DOPS. No, just be 1 minus 1 times 1. X doesn't have a power, so that's a no. Common denominator, you got x minus 3, x minus 4, x minus 3, x minus 4. So it's just x minus 3 and x minus 4. 1, 1, 0. So I guess you need to get that last one up to speed. Parentheses you times behind it. X minus 4, 1, 0, 1. So I think this one needs to get up to speed. Now the denominators all match. We're going to end up with a fairly easy one here. So that's just a 5, okay? 2 times x, 2x, 2 times -4 is -8, 5 times x is 5x, 5 times -3 is -15. So here you just put 5x minus 15. Then x constant. So 2, 5 plus -8 is -3. Okay, so we're solving for x. It's only x to the first, so you're applying the linear properties. Okay. You don't clear one whole side, you take out your smaller x. So -3. You could take out either x. I usually take the smaller one out. Then you add 15 to -3. And then you divide by 3, and 4 equals x. Okay, this is going to be the last problem in this video here on the next one. This needs a parentheses, doesn't have to be factored. That does not get a parentheses, neither does that. Guys, stop putting stuff in parentheses if there's not a plus or minus. You're screwing it up. Those are outers. Yes. Yeah, you probably need to factor that, given the fact it's a trinomial. So GCF and the table. There's no x, there's no negative. 1, 8, 15 is 1. 1 times 15 is 15. Positive, okay? So the signs need to match. It has to add to negative 8. 115, no. 15 divided by 2 is a decimal. It's negative 8. A is 1x to the second, okay? One and 3. This becomes this, okay? X minus 5 is a two-term one, but the GCF's 1, and it's clearly not a DOPS. 1, 1, X not even have a power, so you just bring that down. You can't do anything with it. See, what I'm talking about is on that, see, X minus 3, the same thing happens, okay? GCF, DOPS, no X, no negative, 1 and 3 is 1, so you ain't doing it, okay? And 1 times 1, but X isn't to the second power, so get it out of there. So you're not doing anything to that, it's prime. Okay, so common denominator. So you got X minus 3, you got X minus 5, X minus 5, X minus 3. So the X minus 3, you got 1, 0, 1. So you raise that up. X minus 5, 1, 1, 0. Okay, so this is just 7x plus 3. Over here, 3. If you have an x outside, it's maybe worth showing the work, okay? Because it's not going to be 3x times negative 3. So that's 3x second and negative 9x. And then this really is just negative 1x. And then negative 1 times negative 5 is positive 5. Okay, so you put negative 1x plus 5, x constant, x second, x. So you have 3, x, 9, 7 plus negative 9 is negative 2, and 3. So there's 2 answers for x. And you have x second and x. So now you're back to factoring properties, unfortunately. So you take the side without the x second and clear it. So you're going to add 1x to the negative 2x. You get a minus 5 from the 3. So you have 3x second, negative 1x, and negative 2 equals 0. So it's GCF table. No x, no negative, it's just 1. 3 times negative 2, that's negative 6, so that's a mismatch. Positive times negative, you're adding to negative 1. 1 and 6, that adds to negative 5. Divide by 2, you get 3, there's your negative 1. Now you don't just go x plus 2x minus 3 here, your a is a 3x to the second. So yeah, you go x, but you got to put 3 in front, which means you're going to simplify, okay? So, positive 2, negative 3. Then x, and you place a 3 in front of the x's. 3 and 2 is 1, okay? Just put that over there. 3 and 3 is by 3. You can take the 1 off the front, it's x minus 1. Okay, so F1, F2. Remember, if the T-chart doesn't work, you always go to the quadratic formula at that point. So minus 2, you're at negative 2. Negative 2/3, okay. Plus 1, and that would be 1.